na posa ya ndunda oye kozwa ndunda ya bio naturel ba banana planté ya naturel bazana ba igname ba kokoti na ba manioko ba mbala suka lesali tozana ba sweet corn mama oya yebi kotumba liboke oyo koki ozanga ngote voilà wana koto département ya fresh nyonso fresh toye koto yo awa nde tozana ba drink awa koto nyonso eza ba drink na ba drink nyonso za nango posa pona ba birthday na bino pona célébration na bino ba fête na bino ba jus eza wana toza koto na.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the Chit Chat show with Eliz Tangata. I hope you're all having a great afternoon. Welcome to Venix TV. And for today's subject, today's topic is dowry or bride price, depending on where you're from, originally from. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of dowries and bride price and how it works in certain places and where it exists and which places are still practicing this. So the dowry is, what is dowry? Dowry is the transferal of goods, property, gift, to the, depending on where you're from, this could be either to the bride's family or to the groom's family on the wedding day, you know, for the marriage, you know, of a daughter. That's what it is. And this system is very, very ancient, and they're not quite sure exactly how old it is, because even the earliest record of you know, of dowry it's believed that this happened even earlier on before then, but there's no particular date of exactly when the system of dowry and bride price began. So the dowry and bride price is something that is, you know, it has a long history in Europe, South Asia, and some parts of Africa. And till this day, although in Europe they don't practice the dowry anymore, in South Asia and many parts of Africa, the dowry and bride price system is a very much cultural thing and a way of marriage. This is how people get married in these cultures. So how it began in Europe, it was known that, you know, the bride price would depend. It was more for, you know, it was a security. The way it began, it was a security, like a safety financial net for the bride. You know, it wasn't a gift, you know, from the groom to the bride, but instead it was a gift from the bride's parents to the bride when she goes on to get married, because the son, the males in the family, were the one who would inherit the family's estate and carry on the lineage in the family, whereas a woman will join her husband and she'll become part of her husband's family. Therefore, her parents would give her that safety net, that money, that financial money, for her to keep for herself, not for her husband. That was for herself, just in case, you know, the marriage failed and the husband carried on and married someone else. She'll have a safety net somewhere financially to fall onto. She'll have money to look after herself as well as her children, which she also, you know, she also kept the children of the marriage and the property where they lived. However, as time went on, in the early 800s, about in England, that costume changed. They changed the custom of dowry. What it became a way of ensuring that you find, you know, the family would find a husband for their daughter. And because marriage became, you know, a union, it's a union between a man and a woman, and they become one. So anything that belonged to the woman also belonged to the husband. Therefore, you know, everything that a woman owned pre-marriage will become her husband's, and the woman became her husband's property. Therefore, you know, this is how dowry became a gift for the husband to marry, for a man to marry a woman. And the more money or dowry that was available, for the girl, for the young bride to get married, the more chances she had of getting married, because everyone wants to marry into, family, knowing that there's wealth coming their way. That was a very appealing thing. And as this went on, as the British Empire expanded, they took this tradition, this way of dowry, to many parts of their empire, that including India. Although there was already a form of dowry in India, there was already an established form of dowry, but it was only meant to be as a gift, okay, and not something forced to have. It was only meant to be as a gift for the marriage and not something forced to have. However, when the British settled in India and they brought in this practice, where the man would inherit everything that the woman had, they started implementing that into their culture, which is something that they practice till this day. In Africa, it's slightly different. Instead of paying money to the groom, in Africa it was more bride price, where the groom and his family will, it was a symbol of respect, so they wouldn't pay a price. It was supposed to be, a symbol of respect towards the family of the bride. It was a way of the groom to say thank you to the family of the bride for raising him, raising a good woman who will then obviously, provide him with children and look after his home, after his family, and grow the family. So how it worked, it was a token, a symbol of respect and gratitude towards the bride's family. And how it worked, it was the bride's family will make a list, or they will ask for a certain amount of cattle. Back in the time, in ancient times, it was agriculture that made money, and, raising cattle. And it was a certain number of cattle and also some land, where the new couple would live, and they will be able to grow plants and vegetables, and obviously the groom will be able to support the family. And it was also a way of the groom to show the bride's family that he's capable, is financially capable of looking after this woman that he's going to marry. So this is how things started. However, as time went on, things start changing, and the system of dowry and bride price became quite corrupt till this day. And this is what we're going to discuss, and I'd like you guys to join in, ring me, leave messages. You can ring us with the number on the screen, and please do join us and leave your reviews on Facebook. I'll be reading your comments, and also please do ring in. We've got a number available on our screen. We should have a number available on the screen that you can ring me on, and you can give me your opinion. You can, for those who don't speak or not comfortable speaking in English, you can also ring in and speak in French or Lingala, and I'll try my best to translate. So you're more than welcome to ring in and speak, or leave your comments on Facebook as well. So let's continue. So as time, like I was saying, as time went on, the system, the practice of dowry and bride price became quite corrupt as we moved on in time. In Africa, depending on what tribe you come from, even if you're from a certain country, we've got many different tribes in each country. They do the bride price system in slightly different ways. We'll look through that as throughout the weeks in more episodes to come. And we're going to explore the different ways that the bride price system or dowry works. But yeah, depending on where you come from, there are different things. But usually, you know, they would ask for a bit of some, you know, a certain number of cattle, if you have land, maybe, and a certain amount of money. Money as well is one of the things that would go in. But anyways, as I was saying before, as time went on, the system became quite corrupt. So this is the downside of, you know, the dowry and the bride price system. Okay, there's a lot of danger that started developing. Although it started as something positive, something good, you know, a symbol of respect of towards the bride's family or the groom's family, whichever way it works. Things started changing as time came on, as time started changing. In India, it is known that, you know, the issue of dowry brings a lot of the downsides of dowry brings a lot of abortion of female babies. This is one of the things, because women will cost, you know, because women are the ones who pay the dowry to the husband or the husband's family. And, you know, where it was supposed to be something that happens during the marriage, during the wedding and stuff, now people will ask for the dowry way before the marriage even happens. But also there have been issues with domestic abuse and murder. Some men will marry these women, you know, no matter how much money they bring in, you know, they will accept the amount of money, because now everything is with money. And then they'll murder the woman, the wife. And then from there, after murdering her, since there's rarely any consequences due to, in that case, they move on and they do it again and again and again. And sometimes the lives of women are destroyed because of this issue, because some men will refuse to marry them if they don't have this certain price that they want for the dowry. Then there'll be no wedding. There've been, obviously, women who come from poorer background will struggle to get married because they don't have that kind of finance, that sort of money to be able to marry. The men, they will want to go to someone who obviously has more money to marry them. They will accept that. And there's obviously, like I said before, the abortion of female babies. It was something that the government tried to control. Obviously, it's not legal in India. This is not legal, but people still do it anyway. And they say that's why in India there are more male than there are women in the country, because if the babies are not killed during pregnancy, when they're female, they're killed afterwards. They murder these young babies, you know, if they're females, they found out afterwards, they're killed anyways. Also, some children, because of the system as well, that in India, the older the woman is, the more expensive it is to get her to marry. So the more money her parents have to get together to be able to marry her out. Therefore, that's how the child marriage stuff begins in India, because the younger they are, the cheaper it is for someone to, you know, for them to marry them off. Whereas in Africa is slightly different. You know, the negative part of bride price is that some families will try to earn a living out of that, or make some sort of money out of the bride price. They will use their daughter's wedding to try and get some money, or quite a lot of money. Since there is no price cap for this, the parents can ask for a ridiculous amount of money, especially if they know that the young man who's coming to marry their daughter comes from a well-to-do family, and when they know that, the more they want from this man. Also, there is the child marriage also comes into exploitation in this, because very contrary to India, where it's cheaper to marry a young child, a female child, it is in Africa it's more the younger the better, actually, kind of attitude. it's quite dangerous because, you know, young girls are taken out of education, out of school, you know, especially if they come from urban areas where agriculture is the only way that people make a living. If they're not making good money out of it, you know, a parent could marry their young daughter out so to gain some cattle, for example. You know, cattle is, you know, the exchange or the giving of cattle is one of the things that happen in bride price or in the dowry in the marriage. So sometimes parents will give their younger daughters because they'll bring in more money, because the younger, the more expensive or the more money they can make out of it, you know. And also there's domestic violence. Like I said before, you know, in India this has caused quite a few women to die in their house because husbands will burn the house with the woman inside, so they can go ahead and marry someone else and do the same thing and earn a lot of money through it. In this side, we talk about domestic violence in the way that women are married away to these men, and because, you know, they pay a certain price to their family. If the marriage doesn't work, or if the man is not happy with the woman for one reason or another, it can become violent. It can, you know, when domestic violence start happening in the house, these women have no way of leaving the husbands, because not only is it a shameful thing to do, it's something embarrassing, you know, for the family, but also if that was to happen, the only way divorce happen is if the family is able to give back the money that this man has spent on their daughter when they're getting married. So this is what's going on, you know, with domestic violence. Don't forget, the number should be up on the screen. You can ring us if you want and give your opinion on this, and also let us, you know, give us your opinion. It doesn't matter. You can ring me. You can speak in English, in French, Portuguese even, or in Lingala, and I'll do my best to translate. So my question is for my audience: what do you think we should do? Should we, is it fair to have a price for women to get married? Isn't it the family or the parents' happiness too if their daughter gets married? Should a bride price or dowry be something that should be involved? And also, how can we remove the corruption imposed on dowries and bride price? How can we fight all this corruption, the negative things that come with the dowries and bride price? As well as how do we preserve our culture? So one thing we can't forget is that, you know, the dowries and bride price, these are part of our cultures, and we as Africans or Asians, you know, no matter where you are, we try to preserve much of our culture, much of our background as much as possible, and be proud, and obviously we want to carry on the positive things. So how can we do to preserve the dowry and the bride price ideas or system, and remove all the corruption that comes with it? So please go ahead and leave your comments, and I will read them on Facebook. You can leave them in French, Portuguese, English, Lingala. I will read them, I'll translate. The lines are open and the numbers on the screen. You can ring us if you may. So please send me the information about the dowry being given to the bride as security net, please. Okay, yes, Testaila, I will send you the video. I will send you the link where I found this information. I'll definitely send you that. And hello, Mama Sandrine, and also hello, Shalom Abigail, Sister Abigail. Please do ring in. Let me know about what you think about these ideas. In Europe, it's not practiced anymore. In England, they decided to eradicate, obviously as time went on and they saw the issues that were coming with the dowry, the men will take everything and stuff, you know, all the security for the woman, and when the marriage didn't work, the woman was left with absolutely nothing. So that was completely eradicated. They were able to completely eradicate the dowry system. So should we, as Africans or Asians, should we do the same? Is it okay to eradicate, or is there a way we can find to make it work and remove all the corruption? Please let me know in the comments what you think we should do. And should we go on a break? We're gonna go on a 1 minute break, maybe, and we'll come back and we'll see more messages and people ringing. Is it possible to go on the break?
Nanyango akukani nayo, nanyango akukani nayo, nanyango akukani nayo. Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso. Nanyango akukani nayo, nanyango akukani nayo, nanyango akukani nayo. Yesu we.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Venix TV life-changing channel. Today is Wednesday the 2nd of November 2020. So we're talking about dowry and bride price and how it works in different countries, different traditions. We spoke also about the dangers of the dowry system, and I would like to ask everyone if it's okay to have a price on women to marry, and also how can we remove the corruption imposed on dowries and bride prices, because we must remember when these cultures began, it was never meant, it was all in positive spirit. It was all done in a good, positive way. And, you know, throughout the years, throughout the ages, it became very, very corrupt, and it's put, you know, the lives of women, especially women and young girls, in danger. But there are positive, for those, when it's done properly, it's beautiful. I'm not going to forget to mention this. When it's done properly, when the dowries are done properly, when they don't fixate on money and earnings, you know, and both families are very, very supportive of the new couple. It's a beautiful thing, you know. It's a very beautiful. The celebrations are very, very beautiful. So let us know what you think. Your comments. You can ring. We've got the number on the screen. You can ring us, and you can speak in English, in French, Portuguese, and Lingala, and I will try to translate as much to my best ability. I will try to translate. So I've read a few comments here. People want to know, you know, the information on the security net for women. This was mainly in Europe. When the dowry system began, like I said in the beginning, it was mainly, you know, the dowry was money and earning some sort of money safety net for women who were getting married from her parents, not for the groom, not from the groom's side of the family, but it was from the bride's parents to the bride, for her to have some sort of safety net in case the marriage didn't work out. Okay, so well, I see we've got no phone calls, but either way, I hope you have enjoyed watching the program today, and I hope you've learned something. Please don't forget, you can leave your comments on Facebook or YouTube. Let us know what you think, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. and we'll continue to explore a bit more in much more details. Dowries, the bride price in Congo. We're going to focus in Congo because I am from Congo. So we're going to speak about different tribes. I will get people in who know a bit more than what I do know about the dowry system and bride price and how all these things work. So please keep with us and have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu yo mokeli na nyoso, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso, osalaki likolo na maele na yo, osalinga moto nelilingi na yo, napesa yo nini na masosali na ngai, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Ndekolo bankolo uzansambe malamu namonike waza lokola yo bana Israele kati na desert bayokaki nzala okitisaki mana baliaki ye yango bayokaki posa ya mai obimisaki mai na libanga bamelaki nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo, nanyango akokani na yo. Yesu yo mokeli na nyonso. Qui est comme toi parmi les dieux, ô Éternel? Qui est comme toi, magnifique à Saint-Dédé, digne de louange, opéra de prodiges, kumisama na yo, sanzola na yo, alléluia. Kumisama, sanzola na yo, kumisama, sanzambe malamu, kumisama, 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 onyoso kuta na yo ashanjaka, ozanzambe likolo banzambe nyonso, okotanga kombo na yo, mabolongo nyonso eza kofukama, mpe minoko nyonso eza kotatola. Yesu Masiya azali likolo, ozana bomoi, ozana bomoi, namoni yo na libota na ngai, namoni yo na bomoi na ngai, Yawe ozana, ozana, alleluia, ozana. Ozana,
as pris mon fardeau, tu t'es donné un sacrifice pour que moi j'ai la vie. Je trouve les chemins, la vérité. Non, 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 je n'ai pas pris porter seul mon fardeau. Non, 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 je n'ai pas pris être encore esclave du péché. Les souffrances de ma vie, à la croix je les amène. Les montagnes sur mon chemin, devant toi je les dépose. Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa. Ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas. Tu prends soin de tes enfants, je choisis Jésus. Lorsque j'étais enfant, j'ai parlé comme un enfant. J'ai pensé, raisonné, comme un enfant je faisais tout. Une fois devenu adulte, je me suis défait de cela. À tous ceux qui l'ont reçu comme Seigneur et comme Sauveur, tu les as donné le pouvoir de devenir enfant de Dieu. Non, 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 je n'ai pas plus rentrer dans ma vie d'avant. Non, 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 je n'ai pas plus servi de maître à la fois. Mon combat de tous les jours, c'est de vivre dans ta crainte. Les erreurs de mon passé, que ton sang les efface. Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa, Abba, Abba, Papa. Ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas, ne m'abandonnez pas, ne me délaissez pas. Tu prends soin de tes enfants, je choisis Jésus. Jésus, oh Jésus, Jésus est Jésus, que ta foi me rend aveugle, pour que je vive dans ta crainte. Chaque fois que je tombe par terre, c'est parce que je regarde partout. Je veux vivre comme Jésus, je veux vivre comme mon Seigneur. Je veux être comme Jésus tous les jours de ma vie. Je veux vivre comme Jésus, je veux vivre comme mon Seigneur. Je veux être comme Jésus tous les jours de ma vie.
À celui qui est ferme dans ses sentiments, qui assure la paix.